Hello and welcome to Burning Issues, the only program that provides you a glimpse inside the Wichita Fire Department. I'm Fire Marshal Brad Crisp, and in this episode we'll talk about the National Fire Prevention Week, a week-long national program designed to educate the public about the dangers of fire. The history of National Fire Prevention Week has its roots in the Great Chicago Fire, which occurred on October 9, 1871. The tragic fire killed some 300 people, left 100,000 people homeless, and destroyed more than 17,000 homes and businesses. The origin of the fire has generated speculation and debate. One popular legend is that Mrs. Catherine O'Leary was milking a cow when it kicked over a lamp, setting the barn on fire. However the massive fire began, it swiftly took its toll, burning more than 2,000 acres in 27 hours. The city of Chicago quickly rebuilt, and within a couple of years, residents began celebrating their successful restoration by memorializing the anniversary of the fire with festivities. On October 9, 1911, the Fire Marshals Association of North America sponsored the first National Fire Prevention Day, not with festivities, but rather with events to increase awareness of the dangers of fire. In 1920, President Woodrow Wilson issued the first National Fire Prevention Day proclamation. In 1925, President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed the first National Fire Prevention Week. Today, the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, officially sponsors and selects the theme for the National Commemoration of Fire Prevention Week in an effort to reduce the risk of fires and the toll taken on our society. The Wichita Fire Department has a long history of promoting fire prevention, including a week-long effort during National Fire Prevention Week. This year, from October 5th through October 11th, members of the fire department will participate in a number of activities targeting the most at-risk individuals in our community, children and seniors. This year's theme is Working Smoke Alarms Save Lives. Test yours every month. If you're wondering why NFPA and the Wichita Fire Department are focusing on smoke alarms, you've come to the right place. This year's campaign is designed to educate people about the importance of having a working smoke alarm in their home. Sadly, we lost 11 of our neighbors last year to the perils of fire, many of whom did not have a working smoke alarm in their home. Joining me today are two very special guests of the Wichita Fire Department's Public Education Section, Battalion Chief Stuart Bevis and Lieutenant Jose Ocadiz. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with me today.
Hi, Chief.
Appreciate you guys, always. I need to get a discussion going about the importance of smoke alarms. We need to keep talking about this until the number of fatalities is zero, or smoke alarms are doing a better job of what they're doing and people are doing a better job of maintaining them. So Jose, let's start with you. Why are smoke alarms so important in people's homes?
Well, smoke alarms do save lives. That saying has been going on for a number of years, and because of the fatalities that we have here in the city of Wichita, smoke alarms are important because they're our early warning detection.
Right.
Give people early audible alarm that there's something wrong going on in their house. So we can't tell the public enough that smoke alarms do work and they're very valuable for their home protection.
Yeah, they've been proven to save lives, and of course we know that when a fire occurs, fires often produce smoke. Smoke sets off the smoke alarms. In the middle of the night, that can give you precious few seconds that you need to get your family collected up and get out.
Yeah, as soon as that audible alarm is the thing is that a lot of the citizens are occurring right now is that it becomes a nuisance call or a nuisance alarm activation from possibly too close to the kitchen, right, and the family doesn't adhere to the early warning of the smoke alarm. But the thing is also in the middle of the night is do all family members are able to hear it? In their
right,
deep sleep, can everybody wake up?
Right. And
the smoke alarm to be able to exit to a safe meeting spot outside.
Yeah, hearing the smoke alarm simply starts a chain of events that need to happen, and Chief Bevis, will go to you now. Probably one of the other things that we need to talk about is practicing that fire escape plan. Can you tell us why that's important?
Well, when a fire happens, typically it's not in a time that we're expecting anything bad. Right. Why we have a smoke alarm, like Jose said. You know, right, we need the smoke alarm to wake us up and get us going, but even then, not many of us wake up ready to deal with an emergency. So we have to have that drilled into our conscious, our subconscious. So as soon as we hear that alarm, we know, hey, this is an emergency. We need to get out, and we need to know how we're getting out. And we need to know that second way out as well.
Right.
If we hit that doorway and maybe there's too much smoke in the hall or something like that, we need to know to close that door to protect ourselves for a little bit and go out our second way. Hopefully we have a window or maybe an adjoining door to a balcony or something like that.
Right.
We always want to have a second way out, and we need to practice it at different times. And like I said, even block an exit so that the family has to think on their feet, think in a situation maybe under stress, and go for another exit.
So Mom and Dad, that's a sign for you, Grandma or Grandpa or the legal custodian, to practice with the children that are in the home, and practice yourself. Open the windows up, take the screens out, practice getting out of that first floor bedroom window. If you live on the second floor, you may have to have an escape ladder or have another plan on how to get out, but there is more than one way out of every room. You bring up a great point. Okay, in Wichita, the vast majority of the homes that are built have smoke alarms in them. Okay, so we continue to hear about fires in which the smoke alarm didn't sound, or fires in which the smoke alarm didn't work. Jose, how does that happen? How does it go from every home in Wichita having a smoke alarm to us having one that doesn't work and somebody dies?
Well, that's where our message of smoke alarms, of changing your batteries twice a year, comes into play for the Wichita Fire Department. These smoke alarms aren't operating because they don't have the batteries. They've been removed for whatever reason it was, from you needing that battery for games, electronics, or even from that nuisance activation from too close to the kitchen or smoking in the house or anything.
Right.
Those batteries do save lives, and they have to be changed twice a year.
Right.
And we always have that recommendation during daylight saving time.
Yeah. So daylight saving time happens twice a year in the fall and in the spring. That's a great time to change the batteries, but they're also supposed to test them in practice, right?
Well, we through the NFPA fire code, we always ask that we test them once a month.
Right.
And there's a safety test button on there. All you have to do is activate it to make sure that the button, that smoke alarm is activated. But a lot of people going out to the public and speaking to them, they tell us that they always test them when they burn their foods in their houses, and they don't really test them with the test button, but they say that's how they test the smoke alarms themselves.
Not the way they're intended to be
No.
tested. Stu, about 3,000 people die every year in the United States. Last year, in 2013, we had 11 fatalities, and you had gone to most of those fire scenes to help in the investigative side of that. But can you talk a little bit about what we see here in Wichita when we have a fatality, and the conditions of smoke alarms, and why our investigators are able to determine whether or not they were present, whether or not they worked?
Well, majority of it is what Jose already hit on, is that they may actually have a smoke alarm installed and present, but at some point in time they've removed the batteries, or we've actually found them disconnected from the hard wire because of nuisance alarms. Perhaps they're too close to the kitchen or to a bathroom where the steam is setting them off. And unfortunately, in most of our fatalities where that occurred, the people would have had ample time and knowledge, just because the location where the smoke alarm should have been and the location of the fire, it could have been a very effective early warning for them to find another exit. But in these cases, most of the fire was not found until it was fully developed. Then it was a true emergency. And by the time that was then discovered, then it was too late. And we had injuries or deaths.
Right. Sadly, people need to keep in mind that those smoke alarms are on duty 24/7. They're on duty all the time. They're always monitoring the air. And sadly, folks take the batteries out or take the smoke alarm down, render it inoperative, and they're not only putting themselves at risk, but also their family members at risk, or their pets at risk, whoever happens to be staying with them, and possibly even their neighbors. If a fire gets too big and out of control, that fire can spread on a windy day. The neighbor's house could become involved. So it's not just about you individually. It needs to be about your family and keeping them safe. Before we move into Fire Prevention Week schedules, let's talk really quick about, if you don't have a smoke alarm and you need one, you can't afford it. It's hard times right now, and everybody understands that. We've got a program where you can get a smoke alarm. Jose, why don't you tell folks a little bit about the smoke alarm program that we've got?
Our smoke alarm blitz came into effect, it's been probably about 4 years ago when it first started. Got partnerships throughout the city of Wichita that have donated smoke alarms to us and batteries. And basically, you would call the number 316-268-4510 and get your information, and we will call you back and schedule time to install a free smoke alarm or batteries, whatever you need to be replaced. A lot of the citizens are not aware of that. Smoke alarms are only good for 10 years. Yeah. So depending on the age of your house, depending on any type of remodeling, and or even if you don't have a smoke alarms could only last for 10 years, and we ask you to replace the whole unit after about 7 to 10 years.
That's a great point, Jose. You can not only call 316-268-4510, you can go to wichita.gov, click on the fire department link, and send us an email with your information requesting a smoke alarm, and we'll get a member of our department out there. We'll tell you in all fairness that there is a bit of a waiting list, but we are getting to them as quickly as we can, and we just brought a new partner along, the Office of the State Fire Marshal. They're also participating in this program as well, so it's good to have them on board. All right, so in October, starting on the 5th, which is a Sunday, we begin to really focus on what has been described as Fire Prevention Week. Let's talk a little bit about October 5th. Jose, tell us a little bit about the Fallen Firefighters Memorial that happens down there on South Broadway.
October 5th near Station 2 in our Firefighter Museum is where we honor our fallen firefighters throughout the state of Kansas. We have a lot of dignitaries throughout the state, departments throughout the state of Kansas, honor guard members, right. And our department. We just acknowledge their day as all the fallen firefighters throughout the state of Kansas.
That Fallen Firefighters Memorial is located next to Old Station number 2. That's 1242 South Broadway. The time's going to be 1:30, and the public is invited to come out.
Yes, the public is all invited to come out and be able to participate in the ceremony of the fallen firefighters.
So then the following day, Monday, Chief Bevis, is going to be a program where we're going to do some surprise visits across town?
Yes. Talked a little bit about our target audience. We really want to improve the safety of seniors and children, mm-hmm. and there's no better place than in the schools to instill that with the kids. We don't go knocking on the doors of people's houses usually. Right. In the middle of the night, that might be a little bit bad. So we go to the schools to have contact with as many kids as possible. Mm-hmm. And that point, we can work with the administrators, work with them on their fire drills, and make sure that they're doing an efficient job to get the kids out of the school if there's ever an alarm.
Right. So we have unannounced fire drills in the schools. Schools are required to have fire drills once a month here in the state and obviously in the city of Wichita. And so we're going to visit some of those schools, and they do not know that we're coming. So don't tell anybody. On Tuesday, October 7th, Jose, is a program that's been around for years, and we've just seen tremendous success with it. Why don't you talk about the 5th grade zoo adventure?
Yeah, this program here is the biggest event that we have throughout Fire Prevention Weekend. All 5th graders throughout all of the local district schools, locally and outside, as far as Hutchinson and Derby, we have numerous school districts that do attend, and it's all 5th graders. It's basically we have throughout the whole school, throughout the whole zoo, the schools go through different points of ask questions. It's like a some type of game that you're able to find questions and locate the answers to. And we have a lot of demonstrations. We'll have our fire safety houses. We'll have crash fire trucks. We'll have a demonstration of our heavy rescue, high angle rescue team there, and fire extinguishers, bunker gears, just a whole full day of adventures for the schools.
Don't forget about that arson canine. You got to give Chief Bevis props.
What about Sporty?
That's Sporty. Sporty is the main. She's always booked, always right away.
The middle of the ball at times.
Sporty is very popular. I apologize there, Chief.
Now, the zoo program has been around for a very long time. We typically see over 2,000 kids and almost as many adults, it seems like, each year. And this is a program that keeps reloading because we always get a new crop of 5th graders in, so there's always new faces out there, and teaching them early and often the dangers of fire and the steps to take in case they're involved in
And it's
one.
just not the Wichita Fire Department. We have Sedgwick County, we have Airport Fire Rescue, we have McConnell Air Force Base, Derby Fire Department, Rose Hill, Hutchinson, so we have numerous partnerships throughout the local area.
That's a great point. It's a team effort, it truly is. Okay, so the next day is Wednesday, October 8th. Chief Bevis, let's go to the North YMCA.
Well, every year at the North Y, we have some displays, both from the fire department and from other areas. The police department are usually there. KG&E has West Star has a a program there for safety. Basically, it's a nice outdoor fair for people to come through. We have some area schools that, if it's nice weather, they come and walk through, and they're able to interact with fire crews and with these other emergency crews. It's really a good safety fair. Sometimes there's bicycle safety involved as well.
That's located up on North Woodlawn, and yes, we do have a, if it's bad weather, plan, which means we go inside. So there'll still be activities even though the weather's bad. We'll just be located on the inside. Thursday, October 9th, Jose, let's talk a little bit about the safety caravan and our mobile prevention experience.
Well, our mobile prevention experience, MPE, is basically our fire safety house, and we're planning on attending a couple schools, bringing in our fire safety house and going in there and talking about the dangers of smoke. Smoke rises, so we want all the kids to, well, not just kids, but all family members to get low and go. And basically, we simulate smoke inside of our safety house, so that the kids can think of two ways of escaping, and they go out of a window and being able to get to a safe meeting spot outside.
It'll be a lot of fun, especially at those large schools that we go to. We can get hundreds of kids through the mobile prevention experience in a short amount of time, and looking forward to doing that. Friday, October 10th, Chief Bevis, let's talk about our smoke alarm installation program real quick.
Well, we're hoping that we'll, as you mentioned, we have a pretty decent list, but we're going to add to our list of people who need smoke alarms in our area. And on that day, we'll kick off on trying to hit as many of those as we can with the staff we have available. And then we're actually going to follow that up with the whole next week. I know I'm sort of going ahead.
No,
but,
you're good.
In the next week, we're going to actually commit a bunch of our staff hours from Jose and a couple of his partners to go out to get as many of those people on the list for the smoke alarms they have until we run out of time or run out of alarms.
Right. We may run out of alarms, but we will purchase more. There's not going to be an issue with that, because it's a program where we've installed well over 1,000 smoke alarms and almost that many batteries in the last couple of years, and it's just been so well received, and we hope that it's going to benefit our community. Okay, Jose, if somebody wants to learn more about the Wichita Fire Department or the services we provide, where can they contact us at?
You can contact us at 316-268-4510 or on Wichita, www.wichita.gov on the website, and go to our fire department link and get information and contact us, and even like us on Facebook also. We have a lot of safety messages throughout Facebook also.
Absolutely, and if you don't have access to those things, you can always go by a neighborhood fire station, go inside, introduce yourself to the crews. They're in your neighborhood and they're your neighbors, and they'd love to have you come by. You can also learn more about Fire Prevention Week at NFPA's website, which is nfpa.org. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out. Appreciate your time, and good luck with Fire Prevention Week.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to become more involved in the city of Wichita, or if you want to learn more about the Wichita Fire Department, you can go to wichita.gov. Click on the Fire Department link or call the Fire Department at 268-4441. That concludes this episode of Burning Issues. Our mission is to provide our community excellent, proactive fire and life safety services through prevention, education, and protection. Remember, the Wichita firefighters are highly trained professionals that are your neighbors and friends. They're Wichita's bravest, and they are somewhere serving you in many ways every day.